Hello, I'm Joseph Dillard. Welcome to our online integral deep listening video curricula series on cognitive distortions. When you overgeneralize, you are exaggerating because your feelings are emphatic. Because your feeling at the moment is absolute, the way you think about it is absolute as well. But while your pre-rational feeling can indeed be absolute at the moment, absolute thoughts about it are distortions. Here are some examples. I must be a complete loser and failure. I'm always late. You never listen to me. Do you see how these statements can be true emotionally, but at the same time be false or delusional thoughts? Exaggerations are never accurate, and to believe them or to use them is irrational. Feelings can be authentic and irrational at the same time. Irrational thoughts can feel true, authentic, and justified, but they are still irrational. When you overgeneralize, you weaken your case because it's clear that you are exaggerating. It's also clear that what you are saying is neither true nor rational. The other person only needs to think of one exception to undercut your entire argument and ignore you. For example, if I say to you, I must be a complete loser and failure, all you have to do is think of one time in which I am helpful in order to disprove that statement, which then undermines the credibility of whatever else I might say. If I say, I'm always late, all you have to do is think, I remember when you were on time, so that's not true. If I say, you never listen to me, all you have to do is think, I heard you when you said you wanted me to bring home milk, didn't I? So, when I exaggerate, what I actually accomplish in our conversation and relationship is a loss of credibility. You're less likely to believe anything I say and are less likely to listen to whatever I talk about. I will talk on or talk louder in order to get you to listen, but you will feel quite justified in shutting me out or ignoring me and what I say. And I have given you permission to do so. When you dream and think you are awake, when you're actually dreaming, that is a sort of generalization from waking into another state of consciousness. It's not a thought, but it's still a generalization of your experience. So, just as you can overgeneralize your feelings, you and I can routinely overgeneralize our waking experience onto our dreams. We can easily believe falling in a dream will kill us, just as it would in real life. That's an overgeneralization. The result is that we respond to the experience of falling as if it were a waking threat, which is an experiential overgeneralization and a cognitive distortion. This is the case regardless of the threat that you have in a dream. How do you know it's a threat? Most likely because you have drawn that conclusion from your waking experience and you think you're awake. In post-traumatic stress disorder, people draw this conclusion with their waking minds as a result of some previous experience of real threat and terror. When they are dreaming or in a flashback, they think they are awake and being threatened again. Every time that old tape replays in their heads, awake or asleep, they apply the same cognitive distortion of overgeneralization to it. Overgeneralizing keeps you in the drama triangle by justifying whatever role you are stuck in at the time. Because you always interrupt me, I don't have to listen to you. Which is to say, Therefore, I can stay in the persecutor role. Because you don't love me, I'm a victim. Because you're so weak and stupid, I have to rescue you. When you overgeneralize in your dreams by thinking you are awake when you are asleep, you automatically place all of your dream experiences within the drama triangle. All of your dream experiences become a series of cognitive distortions. In the above-cited dream in the video about polarized or black and white thinking, about the car keys and throwing soda, the dreamer saw the two young men who wouldn't give her back her car keys as disrespectful. She overgeneralized. She overgeneralized when she saw their disrespect as deserving abuse on her part, throwing soda at them. This was an exaggerated response to a perceived threat. Certainly it was better than shooting them, but it's still an exaggerated response. It was also an overgeneralization in that she assumed the threat was real when it wasn't. She was disrespecting herself since the two men and their actions were self-creations. A similar thing happens when you have a near-death or mystical experience. Because you are using your waking world view to experience and remember what is happening, you project your generalized waking assumptions onto them. While much of this is necessary because of the way your perceptual mechanism is physiologically wired, it still doesn't mean your conclusions are true or accurate. By analogy, just because your senses tell you the sun rises and sets, it does not follow that this real experience is also true. What it may well mean is that you are necessarily deluding yourself just to function in an illusory sensory-based reality. The good news is that your delusions and cognitive distortions, as necessary as they may seem to be, can be minimized. They can be reduced, even if they can't be completely eliminated. Overgeneralization is a characteristic of many different logical fallacies, such as the argument from authority, and a cognitive bias that I have discussed in another video called the halo effect. That is, because Einstein knows a lot about physics, he must also know a lot about God, religion, philosophy, psychology, relationships, and snooker. Because you respect someone as an authority in area A, you assume that they are also an authority in areas C, L, and Z. That's an overgeneralization. Because Mitt Romney organized the Salt Lake City Olympics and made huge amounts of money while bankrupting companies, it does not follow that he cares about half of the citizens of the United States. That's an overgeneralization. Your waking sense of who you are makes decisions for the entirety of yourself, often without consulting other involved and knowledgeable perspectives. That's another common example of overgeneralization of authority, your own. IDEO attempts to correct it by bringing the authority of high-scoring emerging potentials into your decision-making process. They don't have to be high-scoring. This reduces the inherent overgeneralization of power and knowledge to your waking point of view at the expense of your emerging potentials. When do you overgeneralize? Write an example. Now write an antidote for it. For example, here are antidotes for the examples that I gave above at the beginning of this video. I must be a complete loser and failure. Well, you could substitute, because I sometimes fail, it doesn't mean that I'm a loser and failure. Second example, I'm always late. You can substitute the thought, I'm late a lot, but I'm not always late. Third example, you never listen to me. Substitute, you don't listen to me a lot of the time. Today is a great day to decide to recognize and stop using this cognitive distortion. Do so and see if you don't find you are less likely to fall into the drama triangle. Thanks for watching. See you next time.